Hey, what's going on everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look and testing out the Hovsco Hovbeta 4-inch fat tire folding electric bike. This is a really beautiful bike, guys. I love the color of it right off the bat. It almost looks like a metallic red. Not a whole lot of metallic in it, but very nice color, guys. We're going to go over all the specs and features, see what this bike has to offer, and then take it on a test ride and see how it does. Now, this bike does have a torque sensor, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. That usually comes on higher end bikes, and it's going to allow you to get more output out of the bike the more effort you put into it. So it's going to feel more like a traditional bicycle in that aspect, as far as feeling like a regular bike when you're pedaling, if that makes sense. Now, some people aren't going to like that. Honestly, I love it, because if you want the exercise, you can get it, and if you don't want it, you just hit the throttle. And on this bike, the throttle does override that torque sensor, which is really nice. So if you don't want to work hard, you just hit that throttle. Oh, and this bike does have an awesome feature about the battery, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And if you guys are interested in picking up one of these bikes after watching this video and feel that it's a bike that you guys might want, I'll put all of the links down below in the description, as well as any coupon code that I can get to save you guys a few bucks. Now, that's probably going to be an affiliate link, so I will make a small commission at no extra cost to you, but I'll also link down there my accessories, cell phone holders, bags, things like that. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, that'll be down there as well. Let's get into it, guys. So up here on the handlebars, you have a nice set of double locking hand grips that don't spin whatsoever, which is really nice to see. You have a really premium thumb throttle here on the left-hand side with a rubberized coating on it. Totally different looking than any other throttle I've used. Definitely like this style. You have the control pad here for adjusting your pedal assist levels, your headlight, turning the bike on and off, and switching out between the two modes, trip and odometer. And that doesn't normally flash like that. That's just my GoPro, the frame rate setting on it. I'll try to show you guys a different view of the display here. Over here on the right hand side, you have a trigger shifter to shift through the 7-speed gears, which leads down to the 14 to 28 freewheel in the rear. With this 14-tooth freewheel, you run out of pedal fairly quickly after about 20 miles per hour, and it's hard to get it up to max speed of 28 miles per hour with that torque sensor, because you just can't keep up with the pedals. So hopefully they update that in the future. I'd like to see an 11 to 34 tooth freewheel in the back. That would be ideal in my opinion. And on the front, you also have a pretty small chain ring. So like I said, you run out of pedal fairly quickly on this bike, but if you guys aren't going over 20 miles per hour, then that's not going to affect you at all. Coming up the chain, we have a 42-tooth chain ring in the front that has a double-sided guard on it and a set of folding aluminum pedals. And this bike's using a entry-level Shimano tourney derailleur to shift through those 7-speed gears. Now, whenever you guys go on their website to order this bike, you're going to notice that it doesn't come with fenders, it doesn't come with the front basket or the rear rack. But as of me filming this video currently, they are having a promotion where you do get all that for free, which is pretty good deal in my opinion for the price. I think it should come with at least the fenders and the rear rack, and then they should just charge for the front basket extra. But like I said, they do have that promotion now. Not sure if it's still going to be available by the time I get this video out there, but it is something to consider. Now, for the weight of this bike, when I weighed it on my scale, it weighs in at 67.5 pounds with the battery, and that's without the racks, baskets, or fenders. If you add all those on there, it comes up to being 72.5 pounds total with everything you see on it now. They do use a aluminum rear rack and an aluminum front basket, which is really nice to see. Some companies end up using steel racks and steel baskets, which adds excessive weight to the bike, so really nice to see those are aluminum. And the fenders are plastic. I actually prefer plastic over metal fenders because you don't get as much noise from them, and it keeps the bike at a lighter weight. Now, one thing about the rack, fenders, and baskets coming separately, there is going to be a little bit more assembly involved when putting this together. You have to install these rods here onto the fenders. You have to install the rack onto the bike, the front basket onto the bike, obviously. So there is just slightly more assembly required than some bikes that come with it that are already installed out of the box. So just keep that in mind. You are going to have a little bit more time putting this bike together if you want those additional accessories. For seat height, you can adjust this down to a really low 31 inches for the minimum seat height. If you take the rear light off of the back, that'll get it to go down about another ½ inch, and you can adjust it up to a height of 41 inches max from the ground up for taller riders. The front stem is adjustable about 4 inches or so. Not a whole lot of adjustment there. As you can see, it's around 3 to 4 inches, but it already sits up pretty high in the front, so pretty nice in my opinion. And one feature that I've never seen in a bike before, which is really awesome, the battery's housed inside the frame here, and on this battery they give you a 120 piece LED light built into the battery. There's a switch on the bottom. You can turn it on low, medium, high, or flash, and that's going to be really nice if you break down along the road and it's dusk or dark out. You can turn that on flash and set it down so drivers can see you and possibly not hit you. And another nice thing about it is you can use it for camping if you need a flashlight or just a light in general to light up your tent or a picnic table area or things like that. Now it is a little bit hard to stand up. It's going to sit angled down a little bit. You could lay it on its back and light up the room, or on the side like this or whatever. So there are some different things, not really a way to hang it. And there is a battery meter on top of the battery. Really nice design on the battery though. It's a 48 volt, 15 amp hour, 720 watt hour battery with 21700 cells. So that's really nice to see. Really good design on the battery here. Pretty cool feature in my opinion. And that 48 volt battery is powering a 750 watt pseudo motor, which peaks at 1032 watts. Now on their website it states that that pseudo motor is a sub brand of Bafang, so pretty nice to see that it's a subdivision of a pretty popular brand motor. And I'm not quite sure what size controller it has. It doesn't say on their website, and when I took it out I didn't really see anything written on it as far as amperage goes, but I couldn't pull it out all the way because there really wasn't a whole lot of slack in the wires. But it does seem like it has some pretty good power. Now when I got this bike, I did have a problem with it folding, and it wouldn't fold because the wires in the frame were a little bit too tight. And the title of this video was almost a folding fat tire bike that doesn't fold, but luckily I got it to fold, and I'll show you that here now. So the problem I was having when I first got the bike and tried to fold it is they had zip ties here and some kind of protective sleeve here, but the wires were so tight that it wouldn't allow enough slack for the bike to actually fold. So I cut all that off, and it seems like there's enough slack now. So hopefully you guys don't have an issue with folding yours whenever you get it. But if you do, cut those zip ties off and hopefully it solves your problem. And you can see here when the bike's folded with the front basket, it doesn't get in the way of the rear rack. It does fold up really nice and compact. However, when you fold and unfold after you cut those zip ties, just make sure you don't pinch your wires in there when you're folding it back up. For stopping power, this bike's using a set of Zoom hydraulic disc brakes coming down to 180 millimeter rotors on both the front and the rear of the bike. And this bike is sitting on a pair of 20 by 4 inch Chow Yang fat tires. And on the center of the frame here below the seat, there is a spot here to mount a water bottle, lock, and things like that. And has a really nice adjustable heavy duty kickstand that can adjust the tilt of your bike by loosening this screw and adjusting this up or down. For safety, this bike's using a pretty nice LED light up on the handlebars. Pretty nice to see it's up there and not down below. That way, whenever you get a front basket, you don't have to worry about remounting it to the bottom of the basket. Really nice to see that it's up there. However, it does not come with a tail light or a brake light other than this little one here that mounts to the seat, which comes with it. But it's just a basic light with one LED, doesn't flash or anything. You could buy an additional light for the back, which I think's about 20 bucks. I'm not sure if that light is actually able to be ran down and wired into the controller, but there's really no plug back here to plug that in, so you would have to run the wire down into there if that's the case, or it may be battery operated. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's something you might want to check on if that's something that you're concerned about. For the price, I feel like it should come with a tail light and the rear rack fenders and have that light wired into the controller. For the front suspension, it has a preload adjuster on the left-hand side and a lockout on the right-hand side, which has clicks of adjustment. It seems like a hydraulic lockout. Very, very smooth front suspension, guys. No complaints at all with that. The seat on this bike looks nice, however, there's not a whole lot of cushion on it. You guys can try it out, it might be okay for you, but if not, you might want to upgrade that to a Cloud9 that I recommend, and I'll put links to that down below in the description as well if you guys are interested in upgrading your seat. And being that this bike does not have a rear suspension, you might want to consider a suspension seat post that I'll put down below as well. All right, so one thing about this bike is it does come with a Bluetooth app. You can see here on the display the little Bluetooth symbol, and there is an app. It's kind of cool that it shows you your speed and everything. It shows you your battery percentage, even though it's still at 100%, and I've been riding it around for a little while, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. Shows you trip mileage and the hours of your trip. However, it kind of just mirrors this other than the time of your trip. So do you really need that? I'm not gonna start the phone app on my phone and have it next to the display just to show me what the display shows me. Kind of pointless in my opinion. Now there is one thing that you need to do with the app, and that is to unlock the bike's speed. Now when you get this bike out of the box, it is locked at 6 miles per hour. Yes, you heard me right guys, 6 miles per hour. And you have to log into the app to unlock the bike to go 20 miles per hour or change it to a class 3 e-bike, which is 28 miles per hour. If not, the bike only does 6 miles per hour out of the box, and in my opinion, guys, it should not be limited to that. If you can't log into the app, if you don't have a phone or things like that, I actually had a problem logging into the app, but then I got it figured out and was able to do it. If you do have a problem, you can contact them and they will let you know how to do it without the app. But in my opinion, it should never be locked to 6 miles per hour initially. To me, they just do that to get your information and to make you log into the app, and that's not cool in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Now I did mention it to them that I didn't think it should be this way, so hopefully they send the information over and it gets changed in the future. And if you get a bike after this and it's different than that, please let me know down below. All right everyone, so I think that's going to be about it for all the specs and details of the bike, but let's take it for a ride and see how it performs. All right guys, so the first thing we're going to do is test this bike coming back up this hill with just throttle to see how fast we can make it up. Now I am down 1 battery bar. All right, so we're going to stop here at this post, throttle only, and we're going to see what speed I can maintain going up this hill. "13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So 9 miles per hour, almost stayed at 10. And that was all but 1 battery bar having a full battery. So that's about what you can expect whenever you guys are riding once your battery level starts to go down just slightly. Here's the max speed with throttle at 20 miles per hour. Now 17, 18. This is a slight incline, still full throttle. So you're not going to maintain 20 miles per hour unless you're on level ground. And then we're going to do some tests here with pedaling. But I got to tell you guys right off the bat, these brakes are really nice on this. These Zoom brakes stop really well, no squeaks, no squills whatsoever out of the box. All I did was wipe them down with some rubbing alcohol. Didn't really have to. Well, I did have to adjust them a little bit because the front one was rubbing just slightly. The back one I didn't have to adjust at all. But really nice on the braking here, guys. You can see here, I could lock them up easily if I wanted to. But let's go back and go up this little hill back here. Show you guys, here's the torque sensor. I'm barely putting any effort in on pedal assist 5, and it's walking me right up this. The more I push, the more power it's going to give me. But we're going to try this up here on this little dirt hill, hopefully if it's not muddy. We're actually going to go over here in this grassy hilly area here and try out that torque sensor here. So I'm barely putting any effort in. It's pulling me along this easily, no problem. But I mean, this isn't really much of an incline at all, but I'll put in a little bit more effort and it's going to go faster. And if you guys don't want to put any effort in, all you have to do is give it some throttle here and quit pedaling. Now this is full throttle, 14 miles an hour, 15, slight incline here. So I feel like it would have been a little nicer to have just a little bit more pep. But to be honest guys, this bike seems very smooth. When you start pedaling or when you hit the throttle, it's not jerky, it just really nice and gradual, really smooth. And there's really no way to adjust any of that in the settings, so it is what it is. But it's going to be really nice for a lot of people that don't like a real jerky ride. Seems pretty smooth. Now it does have some decent pickup. This is going back down the hill, 18, 19, and I just felt the motor cut there at 20. So it is capped at 20 miles per hour. Now we'll go on a straight longer stretch over in the parking lot and I'll show you guys the max speed I was able to reach. It's going to be really hard for you to get up to 28 miles per hour on this bike. I'll show you. Front suspension on this is really nice though. So let's just do some torque sensor pedaling here. Barely putting any effort in. Let's see what kind of speed we can reach up here going downhill with pedaling. I'm in 7th gear right now, and this is the cadence at 18 miles an hour. This is what I mean, you run out of pedal about by 20, so I'm pedaling really fast now, faster than I would want to. There's 24. I'm gonna put more effort in, 25, but look how fast I'm pedaling, guys. This thing definitely needs either a bigger chain ring in the front or an 11 tooth freewheel in the back, like an 11 to 28 or an 11 to 34, something like that would be nice. The torque sensor is really nice though for allowing it to feel more like a regular bike when you're pedaling. If you put it into pedal assist 1, which is what I'm in right now, there really is no way to adjust how much power or torque comes from each level. But with that torque sensor, it's really all going to depend on how much effort you put into it, so you really don't need to be able to adjust each level when you have a bike that has a torque sensor. You can see here I'm able to go very slow if I want to, 6 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. I can put in a little bit more effort, it's going to go faster. But when you're in those lower pedal assist levels, you're going to have to push harder for it to go faster, if that makes sense. So if you want more exercise, having it set up like this is really nice, because you can put it in pedal assist 1 and you can get a lot more exercise. And guys, you could definitely get your exercise, because like I said, I'm pushing decently hard right now to make it move. But you can put it in pedal assist 5 and still pedal slow here. I'll show you. I can still go slow in pedal assist 5, but you can see if I just put just a little bit of effort in, it really wants to take off and go faster. So that's what I mean. You could basically, the lower levels you're going to have to pedal harder for it to go faster, and the higher levels you're going to have to pedal easier for it to go faster. So really nice setup, guys. I love the torque sensor on this bike. So let's see what kind of speed we can get to in pedal assist 1, just pedaling. So I can still go 20 miles an hour, 21 miles an hour, 22. So you can still get pretty much top speed in pedal assist 1. You're just going to have to push harder on the pedals to do that. And that's what I mean, guys. This is really nice the way this is set up. So now let's see how fast I can go in pedal assist 1 with just throttle. Let's see if we have full throttle throughout any pedal assist level. And yes, we do. 20 miles per hour there with just throttle, same as if you were in pedal assist 5. So very nice that they give you full throttle in any pedal assist level. I love that when bikes are programmed like that. One thing I noticed is this motor is very quiet. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you really can't hear much. Let's try the suspension out. Very nice on the front suspension. I do recommend putting a suspension seat post in, and if I put one of the ones that I like the NCX suspension post or the Redshift post, that's a little bit more money, it's going to give you a very smooth ride. So let's see what I can get this baby up to in pedal assist 5, just pedaling in this parking lot here. 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 25. So it's going to be very hard, whew, my legs are on fire, to maintain even 25 miles per hour on this bike. So that's the only downfall to having a torque sensor, is you have to maintain pressure on those pedals to get that higher speed, because they do have it capped at the 20 mile per hour legal limit with throttle. And in the United States, for a class 2 e-bike, they're not allowed to go over 20 miles per hour with the throttle. With that being said, some bikes still allow you to do that with throttle. They'll allow you to reach max speed. If you guys seen some of my other videos, you can see what I'm talking about. Some bikes will let you go 28, 30 miles an hour with just throttle. This one is set to the legal limit. Ooh, man, I'm out of breath after that last run. Very nice smooth ride though, guys. Loving that torque sensor. If you're not gonna go over 20 miles an hour, not 30, it's gonna be a pretty nice ride for you guys. And you can see here, changing the pedal assist levels, not changing much on the speed other than the power I have to put into the pedals to get it to go that speed. All right, we're gonna try it on this grassy hill with just throttle. I'm gonna stay up here a little bit because it's pretty muddy down below and pretty wet. Guys, not bad. It almost actually made it up over the hill with just throttle, and that's not bad at all. If you guys see my hill test video where I took 19 different bikes up here, this one actually almost made it up over, and it's not even a full battery. It's down one battery bar, so pretty nice on the power. Let's try that again pedaling with the torque sensor and see what kind of effort I got to put into it. All right, so now with the torque sensor, see what kind of effort I got to put in. I'm actually in 7th gear, guys. Made it right up, no problem. I was in the hardest gear to pedal, didn't even realize. If I put it in 1st gear, it probably would have walked up that even easier. But I did accidentally go too far down into the muddy area, and now it's all muddy. So good thing I got the fenders on here. But you can still see some of it came up over a little bit on that rear fender. Hey guys, it's a little bit chilly out here today. I'm actually testing out, this is going to be in a future review, this heated jacket and heated gloves. Pretty excited to be trying this stuff out. It couldn't have come at a more perfect time. But overall, guys, this bike really impressed me coming up that hill as far as power goes. Speed was a little bit disappointing as far as trying to keep and maintain the class 3 speeds of 28 miles per hour. Couldn't even get it to 28. Power wise though, guys, this bike does have pretty good power. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. That's going to be about it on the Hovsco Hovbeta folding electric bike. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments of how the bike performed, if you guys think this is or isn't the right bike for you and why. And consider subscribing if you found this video interesting and hitting that bell notification so you get notified of future videos. And I will see you guys around on the next one. Oh, make sure you guys turn the notifications on your phone so you actually get notified, or you still won't. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you around on the next one.